We wanted to win. Everybody wanted to win. The team wanted to win. I wanted to win. But I think that unfortunately we just ran out of fitness. We planned to try and win AFF 2020. I've been lucky enough to win a league, and everyone said, "Oh, Simon, yeah, it's great. Yeah. Come here."
Tapi seoptimis apa Coach Simon dengan tim ini?
Well, this came down to me understanding that Malaysia was going to be a big game. Everybody wanted to win this game. There was big pressure on that game.
Kira-kira kota mana nih di Indonesia yang udah pernah dijelajahi atau kota mana yang paling berkesan di Indonesia bagi Coach?
This is where I get in trouble with supporters, right? This is where I pick one city and then every other city hates me.
Memilih sekolah atau sepak bola?
If my dad is watching, I get in trouble here. My dad still tell me off.
Halo Detikers, kembali lagi di acara The Happening, dan hari ini kita sudah di kantor PSSI, dan di sebelah saya sudah ada pelatih kepala dari Timnas Indonesia. Jadi kepada Bapak Simon McMenemy atau Coach saya panggilnya, Coach.
Yeah, Coach.
Oke. Jadi Coach, gimana kabarnya setelah 2 pertandingan kemarin? How are you, Coach?
Good. Looking forward to our next games.
Okay. What about 2 games last week?
Difficult. Obviously, expectation against local neighbours was very high. We wanted to win. Everybody wanted to win. The team wanted to win. I wanted to win. But I think that unfortunately we just ran out of fitness. I think we were tactically well prepared. I think we understood what Malaysia were going to do. Okay. And I think that unfortunately, for many different reasons, I think the players were just very, very tired towards the end of the game and maybe lose focus a little bit.
The most concern about the match with Malaysia and Thailand, how about your concern about fitness and posture? Maybe it's a...
Well, the biggest problem for me is that we are still playing league games.
Okay.
Teams are playing one game every 4 days, so play, rest, travel, play, rest, travel, play. Very, very difficult for players to maintain this and then come into national team and work even harder. It's very difficult. So I think we see this in both games. I think we see that
it's about a schedule.
Is one of the big factors.
Okay.
Because it's a factor that Malaysia do not have to deal with. They've been finished for 2 months and have rest. So I know expectation is high, but my job is to be realistic and try and work out the factors as to why these problems come. So this is something we need to think about when we go into the next games.
How about Andritani?
What about Andritani? Be specific.
Many people say Andritani is not a good choice to be a goalkeeper.
For procedure or for national team?
For national team.
But is it okay for procedure?
Maybe it's many blunder, many mistake for a goalkeeper.
So we talk about this in that when a striker makes a mistake, he has midfield, defence and goalkeeper behind him to prevent mistake. Simic makes mistake, he has Sute behind him. Sute makes mistake, he has Ryuji, Maman, whoever play at the back behind him. When Andritani make one mistake, it's goal. Every time it's goal. And it's a problem. For Andritani, he has been national team player for a long time. And he's very respected, and I respect him a lot. I'm not prepared to give up on a player like this and just cast away. I don't think this is how you respect players. Andritani will be involved in the trip to UAE. Whether he starts or not is something that we will see in training. But will he be involved? Yes, he will be traveling.
Untuk pertandingan selanjutnya melawan Arab, mungkin ada nggak taktik khusus yang disiapkan? Karena kita udah ketinggalan banyak poin nih. Kira-kira ada taktik khusus yang mau dijalankan nggak ketika melawan Arab?
Yes, we have to. We have to understand UAE are a better team than we've just faced. So we have to be realistic. We have to not believe that we can play like your team, Manchester City, and just dominate. Okay. You know, we have to be realistic about these things. We have to understand what we can and cannot do. And my job is to make sure that the tactics fit what we can do and try to hide what we cannot do. So there is special training we will be doing when we go back into camp to prepare ourselves ready for the UAE game.
Tapi menanggapi banyak sekali tentang seruan-seruan di lapangan tentang Simon out, bagaimana pendapat Coach tentang hal itu?
I understand. I see where it comes from, in that Indonesians are very passionate when it comes to games against Malaysia and Southeast Asian neighbours, but there is a process here, there is a plan in place. I start the job in February. We not plan to play Malaysia and have judgment in September. We plan to try and win AFF 2020. So there is long-term plan and long-term strategy in place, but all of a sudden that long-term plan now must be evaluated in 4 months, 5 months. So it's a little bit difficult and a little bit frustrating for me, but I've been lucky enough to win a league and everyone said, oh, Simon, yeah, he's great, yeah. Come here, come here. And I enjoy this, but this is not the whole life. My life is winning and losing and winning and losing. It's easy to win. It's hard to lose and then come back to try and win again. And this is part of life, is how you face challenges and difficulties. The fans want to make it difficult, this is up to them, but it does not help the team.
Tapi seoptimis apa Coach Simon dengan tim ini?
This team is very talented, without shadow of a doubt. And I think if this team is given enough time to prepare well for these games, then we can challenge anybody. Like we see with Malaysia, 2 months preparation, they come out very well prepared. When we play Jordan play in Asian Cup last year. They have 3 months preparation and then they beat Australia. For national team, preparation is always the thing you want more of. You never have enough time because sometimes players come in late, sometimes players have games, sometimes there are games 2-3 days before national team trainings. You never feel like you have enough time. Given time, you can change things, no problem. But it's always this battle about how much time you have and how much you can actually change.
Tapi banyak yang mempertanyakan kenapa memainkan pemain-pemain yang tua dibandingkan memilih pemain-pemain yang muda. Bagaimana tentang itu?
Well, this came down to me understanding that Malaysia was going to be a big game. Everybody wanted to win this game. There was big pressure on that game. We put young players into that game, maybe they fold. Maybe they struggle, maybe they make it. Young players will make mistakes. They will. At this level, this is the highest level they will play. Experienced players, more senior players, maybe they can help a little bit more. So the thinking was going into these 2 games, that these games important, home crowd, pressured, difficult, that the experience would be needed.
It's about mentality.
Especially you saw the game.
Okay.
It's very difficult for a player to maintain mentality when crowd are going wild, when there's signs being put up. You're working with a different referee that sometimes give free kick, sometimes doesn't because he's different nationality. There are many, many different things in senior national team football. And the strategy that we decided upon was to bring in more experienced players and maybe use the younger players a little bit later on once we'd played those first 2 games. But was a plan, was a strategy.
Oke. Kita mau flashback dulu Coach, kembali ke awal dulu bagaimana PSSI coba mengkontak Coach untuk menjadi pelatih Timnas Indonesia. Bagaimana ceritanya bisa sampai dikontak oleh PSSI?
There was a lot of rumors at the time. We were being very successful with Bayangkara. I was asked to come in for a meeting. I met PSSI, sat down with them. They asked me to present my plan for the 2 years they were prepared to contract. We talked through a presentation and targets and strategies, and it was agreed. Fairly straightforward. I was lucky enough to win the league. I backed it up with a 3rd place finish, and the current coach had left. They were looking for a new coach, so they wanted someone who knew the players.
Tapi setelah menjadi pelatih Timnas Indonesia, bagaimana perasaan Anda?
Same feeling as it is now. I'm very proud, very respectful of the country, very respectful of the culture, more importantly. I think I understand the culture quite well. There are certain things I still don't understand, especially when it comes to supporters, but it's still the same feeling now. When I stand in that stadium in the Bung Karno and the national team anthem is playing, I still get emotional. My son was born in this country. Well, I know because he loves nasi goreng and he runs around without any shoes on all the time. I can't put shoes on him. So he's kind of half Indonesian. I feel strongly about this country and respect, and being able to represent this country is a massive, massive honor.
Bagaimana rasanya meninggalkan Bayangkara FC untuk melatih Timnas Indonesia? Berat nggak sih, Coach?
No, it wasn't hard. It was not a difficult decision. It wasn't something that I had to go home and think about. I'd been fortunate enough to take a team that finished 8th and win the league. And then arguably the 2nd season with Bayangkara was harder than the 1st season, because now everybody knows about Bayangkara. Everyone wants to fight you. Everyone wants to make it difficult. So the 2nd year to finish 3rd was probably harder than winning the league. So to do 2 seasons like that was tough, was hard work. We had to work very hard to get where we wanted to in those 2 years. So the opportunity then to step up in a level and represent such a huge country was something I would never turn down. And even if I knew what would happen with these 2 games, I would still take the job 100%.
Tapi banyak juga yang menaruh perhatian lebih kepada Timnas Indonesia. Karena sebelum-sebelumnya pun juga Timnas Indonesia ini sering dapat hal yang negatif nih. Bukan sebelum Coach Simon melatih, tapi sebelum-sebelumnya juga tekanan dari supporter Indonesia, masyarakat Indonesia itu cukup tinggi. Bagaimana Coach menghadapi hal itu?
This is football.
This is football.
You can't take a national team job and then complain that the fans are positive and negative. You know this. All you have to do is look in the history about Indonesia to find out all the problems that have been here. You can't sign the contract, something happens, and then you complain. You sign the contract, you know what's going to happen. You know some of the fans will be very happy all the time. You know some fans will make problems and fight. But you know that when you sign the contract. But I tell the players all of the time, we must be better. We must be better role model, we must be better player. This why Novri not play. This why Manahati I not picked to go to Jordan because he headbutt player in game. This why Rizky Pora get taken out. Rizky Pora important player, he get taken out. National team player must be better.
Tapi di antara negara-negara yang sudah pernah Coach Simon latih nih, ada Filipina juga, sebelumnya Filipina, terus juga Mitra Kukar, Bayangkara, sekarang melatih juga di Timnas Indonesia. Di antara Indonesia dan Filipina, kira-kira negara mana yang paling berkesan? Indonesia atau Filipina?
It's difficult because it's 2 very, very different situations. When I come to Philippines, nobody liked football. Nobody. There was no press conference when I signed contract. When we go to AFF qualifier, nobody cared. It was not on TV. No one watched. In this country, it's different. Everybody like football. Everybody have opinion. Everybody is national team coach. Same. But you know this. Like I say, when you sign contract, you know this. When I sign with Philippines, I know there's no supporters. It's an easy job. You go in, you work, you're successful. Okay. Here, there is pressure. Every single decision you make, there is pressure, pressure, pressure. But you know this when you sign the contract. You cannot deal with it, don't sign the contract.
Okay. Jadi Coach Simon lebih berbeda lah tanggung jawabnya antara Filipina dan Indonesia karena pressure-nya pun juga berbeda karena di Indonesia lebih banyak yang antusias terhadap sepak bola dibandingkan Filipina. Nah Coach, tapi ada yang menarik nih Coach, kok bisa sampai ke Asia Tenggara nih Coach? Ada kan dari Skotlandia jauh-jauh tapi bisa sampai ke Asia Tenggara. Gimana ceritanya Coach?
I was speaking to 2 players who were playing for the Philippine national team, who I used to coach in England. And they asked me what I was doing, and I said I just left the club. I was looking for a new club to work for. They suggest that I send my CV to Philippines, and they would speak to management about. So I send my CV, and management call. I get a phone call, and I go to Philippines. Is a very. If you are a coach who can choose where he works, then you are a very lucky person because. Most of the time, coach has to go where there is work, not where he chooses. I want to work Liverpool, Celtic would be amazing. But if Liverpool, Celtic not want me, I can't work there. So you have to go where someone wants you to work. So sometimes you don't get choice. You go where the work is. I go Vietnam, I go Philippines, I go to Maldives, I come back to Indonesia 3 times. You go where people want you to come and work.
Akhirnya kembali ke Indonesia, melatih beberapa klub Indonesia dan Timnas Indonesia nih Coach. Kira-kira kota mana nih di Indonesia yang udah pernah dijelajahi atau kota mana yang paling berkesan di Indonesia bagi Coach?
This is where I get in trouble with supporters, right? This is where I pick one city and then every other city hates me. I enjoyed living in Surabaya. And the reason I enjoy living in Surabaya because this was where my son was born.
Okay.
My son was born in Surabaya and we used to go for walks and is a little bit greener. There is more green than
Reinforce.
Everything in Jakarta is abu-abu, you know. Everywhere you look is abu-abu. So Surabaya banyak hijau.
Tapi udah makan makanan khas Surabaya belum Coach? Rujak.
My housekeeper is a very good cook, and we eat Indonesian maybe 3-4 times a week. We don't actually eat much Western food, so gado-gado, nasi goreng, love Indonesian food, and spicy as well.
Oke, nah kita punya pertanyaan trivia juga nih Coach. Trivia quiz. Nah,
trivia
quiz. Jadi biar lebih dalam lagi mengenal Coach Simon itu seperti apa kira-kira. Nah Coach, pertanyaan pertama adalah sepatu bola pertama dari Coach Simon
My first ever football shoes were bought for me by my father when I was 5 years old, and they were a pair of Puma Leon, they were called.
Puma.
They looked like Puma King, very black with just white Puma.
Okay.
I loved them. If I could find a pair now, I would wear them now. They were amazing. But Puma were my first.
Dibawa ke Indonesia nggak coach untuk sepatunya? Atau ditinggal di Skotlandia aja deh untuk kenang-kenangan?
No, but I'm happy that now I'm Puma brand ambassador because it's kind of like full circle. My first shoes were Puma and now I represent Puma in Indonesia, so it's a nice feeling.
Oke, next untuk pertanyaan kedua adalah memilih sekolah atau sepak bola?
If my dad is watching, I get in trouble here. My dad still tell me off. Football.
Football.
Every day.
Every day.
Every single day.
Why?
All
Why?
day.
Kenapa?
Is the one thing that I've been passionate about since I could walk. I've played lots of sports. I was lucky enough to represent England playing badminton, so I play national team badminton. But football is number one. I had choice to stay in England and play for national team badminton, or go to America on sepak bola scholarship. So I go to America and drop badminton. My dad always thinks I was better badminton player than I was football player.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, football. School, you have to go to school. School is important because football is like this, as we talk about, is up and down. Sometimes you have jobs, sometimes you do not have job. But if you are smart, then this helps. So must go to school. But for me, football.
Football is number one. Football is number
Always.
Nomor 3, bayar. Ini kira-kira agak sedikit personal. Tapi bayaran pertama kali dari Coach Simon itu berapa ketika melatih tim sepak bola?
The first time I was ever a football coach, I did not have salary. I worked as a volunteer for a long time. Because when I first start, 17, 18, when I start coaching, I couldn't just expect someone to give me a job. In the UK, everybody wants to be football coach and get full-time salary. You have to prove that you're good enough for full-time salary. So I just say, okay, I coach. Just tell me where to go, I go and coach, I coach. And then as years go on, then I start to get a little bit money, and then eventually work your way up.
Tapi ada yang menarik nih, tadi Coach bilang badminton kan, main badminton juga. Ada nggak favorit player dari badminton Indonesia? Kira-kira, atau mungkin dari luar boleh deh.
Is difficult question for me to answer because I don't know any of the Indonesian badminton players. Is a huge sport here, but you can imagine how my mind works. My mind now is 100% football, pretty much 24/7. It's difficult for me to take time off to go and watch anything else. But badminton has always been my number 2 love. You asked me about football. If there was no football, if football was not invented, I would have tried everything to be a professional badminton player. This would have been my second dream.
Mungkin Coach bisa ngajarin trik smash mungkin nanti setelah jadi pelatih sepak bola, jadi pelatih badminton. Mungkin boleh dicoba? Smash. Oh.
Yeah, no problem. When I play here, people think, he's just cannot play. So I'm like, I surprise people. And wherever I go, where I went to the Philippines, I played against national team players in the Philippines, and in Vietnam I play. And then when I lived in Surabaya, I play in Surabaya a little bit. People invite me to come and play, and they think that, okay, coach, okay. But then,
Oke, untuk pertanyaan trivia yang terakhir nih. Kira-kira setelah Mitra Kukar dan Bayangkara, kira-kira Coach mau melatih klub Indonesia lagi atau mau keluar?
Again, this is a question that gets me in trouble. I go to whatever situation I get offered, and myself, my wife, make decision this is the right place to go. It's not just about me making decision, yes, I want to go and work there. I've turned down many jobs that I've been offered. I get offered job to go for Pakistan national team.
Pakistan.
I cannot because I'm not sure about the quality of life for my wife. Would be maybe difficult life for her there, so we cannot. I get offered to go to South Africa, work in South African league.
Okay.
But again, I'm not sure about the quality of life there, so I make decision to stay. Fortunately, I get a few offers to go to different places, and one of these days the right offer will take me away from Indonesia. I would like to end up working closer to home. I don't have any pull to work in Premier League. I think this is a very tough league to work in, but to work in Europe would be amazing. To be only British coach in German league or I don't know, La Liga or something like this would be. I'd like to work in Europe one day.
Liga-liga di luar sana nih, coach, ada Liga Eropa, Liga Inggris. Prefer liga yang mana?
Premier League. 100%.
Liverpool.
Yeah, but I'm a fan of football.
Okay,
so
football.
Now this is my job. I cannot just say, okay, I like Liverpool and everybody else.
Okay.
I must. But watching football, if I have to watch a league, I turn the TV on. I watch whatever football league is on. But if I have choice, always Premier League. The Scottish League with Celtic, my team, is boring. Celtic win, turn TV off.
Permasalahan sepak bola di Indonesia ini kan bertambah juga nih, coach. Dari mulai dulu ada mafia, terus dan sekarang bertambah lagi tentang kayak yang mengkritik soal pelatihnya lah, ada yang mengkritik soal pemainnya lah, dan terus berlangsung. Tapi yang unik, bagaimana tanggapan Coach Simon soal Satgas Anti Mafia Bola untuk memberantas semacam mafia-mafia yang ada di PSSI atau di liganya sendiri yang mencurangi sebuah pertandingan?
Is a good idea. It has to happen. It has to happen. But it's a problem I think that has always been there. I think everybody has their suspicions that it happens, but it's good that there is someone or there is a force or a unit who are there specifically to look into evidence and to try and find evidence of it. Because if you've been in Indonesian football long enough, you talk about it, referee, you know, you joke a little bit about it, but there are always suspicions that it happens. But it's very difficult for coach or for reporter or for supporter or for manager or for anybody else to prove anything, to make it better. So it's good that there is unit who just solely look at, okay, we must try to make football better and less corruption. I think it gives everybody a little bit of security that someone is watching.
Jadi untuk pencegahan harus ada yang monitor juga. Nah, coach, kira-kira ekspektasi Timnas Indonesia nih di tangan Coach Simon ini seperti apa kira-kira nantinya? Berharapnya Timnas ini seperti apa sih, Coach? Kira-kira masih bisakah lolos kualifikasi?
I think we can, yes. But more importantly is that this team improves. It's more importantly that we see development in this team. And this is not fair on the players or not fair on the process to say we must be this by December, we must be at this level, we must be here. We must see improvement. You see improvement in Malaysia, you see improvement in Vietnam. For the last 3 years, they've been trying to improve. Thailand have always been a strong team. There is now pressure on us to keep up, to maintain a development as well. So it's important for me that by the time 2020 comes, AFF, that we are ready to compete with and maybe get some revenge on Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, and anyone else who stands in the way.
Sekian interview kami bersama Coach Simon. Tonton videonya di 20 detik dan baca beritanya di detikcom. Sampai ketemu.